Welcome to Closet Cosplay, the podcast where we help you create con-worthy cosplays on a closet budget. I'm LJ.
And I'm Michelle, and today we're going to be talking about another set of cosplays we're doing at Mid-South Con 2020.
As always, if you'd like to follow along, check out our show notes for all the links and galleries to the things we'll be discussing here.
Our characters for today are Bowsette and Boosette. LJ will be cosplaying Boosette, and I will be cosplaying Bowsette, and honestly, I have only seen other people cosplay Bowsette. I don't think I've ever seen Boosette, and I didn't know much about them until LJ told me this idea.
Yeah, so. I think they're super cute, and I know not a ton of people notice them, but you have probably seen pictures. Obviously, you have.
Yes.
But the where and why of how they came into existence is a little bit odd. So there was this... There was a game released in 2018 for the Super Smash... Or, I'm sorry, it wasn't Super Smash Bros. It was Super Mario U Deluxe.
Super Mario U Deluxe.
Yes. And so there was an item called the Super Crown. And the Super Crown, when used on a character called Toadette, which looks like Toad with pigtails.
Oh, I love Toadette. Yes.
So Toad with pigtails, when you put a crown on her, became Peachette, who looked like a mashup of Peach and Toadette.
Cute.
So, of course, this led to the whole lore and, speculation. But beyond that, there was an artist named AYYK92. And he was running a comic. And in it, he had toyed with the idea of, well, okay, what if you put the Super Crown on Bowser?
Yes.
And so you have a mashup of Peach and Bowser, which became Bowsette, which... the internet just loved.
I must say, the fan art of these characters is awesome, guys. You should check out all the cool art, and I mean, it's just that all these artists have been inspired by these characters.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's one of those examples of, we like when the fans and community kind of takes an idea and they run with it because it gets people really excited. And Bowsette became really popular, and there's several different iterations of what she looks like, and everything from her having red hair and a big spiky tail to being very muscular, and her costumes range from, the little tight leotard to the big ball gown, which we'll get into in a minute.
Yeah.
But that spiraled off into other iterations, which is where you get Boosette, which is a combination of the Super Crown with Peach and one of the Boo little ghosts, which...
Guys, in the old, was it Super Nintendo version of Mario? It was some Mario game. Mm-hmm. I think it was the one with Yoshi. I want to say Super Mario 3. There were the ghost levels that you just had a million boos floating around you, and if you looked at them, they stopped, and if you looked away, they came at you. Terrible at those levels.
Oh,
I can testify I was absolutely terrible at those levels. I feel like I have a form of trauma from boos chasing me around.
Boo PTSD.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Well, what's so cute is they took the whole hiding the face thing for her, and whenever Mario or somebody or Luigi looks at the character of Boosette, she blushes really high and hides her little face.
That is so adorable.
And I think it's so cute.
You're gonna have to do good blush or something.
I know. I've already been planning it. Don't worry. The makeup aspect is gonna be up there. So these were kind of in my vein of I like fan characters. I like different takes on things that are established, and kind of fits with what we've been doing with the Sonic and the Shadow thing in our last episode.
Yes.
Taking something and kind of, people add their own twist on it.
We're putting our own spin on it.
Yes. So we started off with Bowsette.
Yes.
I want to get into that.
So I am cosplaying Bowsette, and with knowing pretty much nothing about this character, we did find a fan art of the characters that was pretty covered as their costumes, and they were in ball gowns, it looked like, or at least Bowsette looked like she was in a ball gown type dress, and I kind of took that idea and ran with it. Not that I'm going to get a gigantic ball gown, because that would cost a lot of money. However, I did want to mention that I do have a black dress, and it's really simple. I ordered it off Amazon less than a year ago now, and it's plain black. It has a long V. It's kind of a chiffon type material, and it's not a big ball gown type dress. It's just a simple, think of a simple prom dress. Almost.
Very, very briefly, I want to touch on chiffon. I have learned this in my costuming things, if you're wanting something that is flowy and sheer, chiffon is the way to go. Tulle is a little bit stiffer. So when you're looking things up, if you see those nice, flowy, wavy things, you're looking more for chiffon, which is a little bit more expensive. But if you're wanting something that is going to hold a form, like a bigger ball gown or
a tutu type deal.
Tutu is that's your tulle. So anyway, that's something to keep in mind.
And this chiffon, I guess it's a top layer. The whole dress is not chiffon, but it has a chiffon top layer to this black dress. So it moves beautifully when you walk behind you. It's very flowy. And so I thought... And I didn't realize I could use that dress until about halfway through looking at, let's see, I looked at pirate type skirts that you'd see at Ren fairs. I was thinking of a high-low type detail that I kind of wanted to go for to get some of that princess detail, just body and movement in the dress when I walked. And we found this, I guess I could call it an overskirt on Amazon that... I don't know if you'd call that... They call it steampunk gothic wrap skirt.
They just throw words at it
Victorian ruffle pirate skirt. That is the full description.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a lot. However, what was neat about this is I just thought it was a plain skirt. And upon further inspection, you can see that it's a tie-around overskirt. There's nothing underneath it. And it's kind of open in the front, I'd say. Mm-hmm. And it's longer in the back, and it's got a bow at the front. So that's kind of reminiscent of the gray detailing on Bowsette's front skirt in the picture we used.
Yeah, she's got these little hip... I don't know what the actual terminology... I know there's probably a word for it, like there is anything, but they look like little hip scarves almost that wrap around. The little peach scarves, but they're gray instead. But,
yeah. And I thought the ruffle and bow detail kind of reminded me of that, so I thought that would be really great over my already black dress. Mm-hmm. And also, I have a black corset that I found on Amazon that I've owned for years, and they still have it on Amazon. You can still buy it. It has held up, so I can speak for the, quality of it. Not in that it's super high quality, but it is definitely quality enough to, go to a con in.
Yeah, and definitely. The thing about a lot of these corsets, too, that you'll find on Amazon, most of them don't have those rigid steel bones, which if you were looking for tight lacing and like a real waspy sort of waist would be important. But honestly, if you're going to be at a con all day, you do not want that, guys. You want the look of a corset without the restriction of a corset for the most part.
And I will say, even this corset... I mean, I can't bend over in it. You have to, it still sits you up straight and holds you in, and it still defines your waist, which is really all I'm after.
Right. And that's what it'll do.
Yeah, I don't need any of the steel boning craziness. Although they are very nice. I've tried one on and they are very nice. However, not necessary. This is, not necessary for this anyway. So this is just a kind of sweetheart topped black corset, but it has these, you call it brocade type details. Yeah, it's a brocade
detailing, so that kind of gives it that like princessy look a little bit more.
Right. So it's not just a flat black. It's got a little texture to it, which I like.
Which again, this is readability versus accuracy, especially with these being fan characters. You can do what you want with them.
I can do what I want. Exactly.
Which is encouraged.
So, yes, and I already own it, and that's the great thing about closet cosplay is go into your closet first and see what you can use and then figure out what you need. So that's what I started with. It was the corset and my dress that I already own. And we found that great overskirt, so I'm going to add that detail in. And then the biggest part of Bowsette, or the hardest part, I guess, was finding horns. Her horns are very specific, and I will tell you guys, we looked for a while to try to find these horns for, less than $100. They had really great replica ones on Etsy, but let me just veer off into a rant/discussion here on 3D printing, because almost every set of Bowsette horns we found were 3D printed, and my beef with 3D printing is that it's got those lines on it. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
It's from the layers, yeah.
It's from the layers of 3D printing, and it's got all the lines. And if you get up close to it, you can definitely see that detail.
You can, and while it's fine for pictures, this is just me being picky. Like, you can almost find something just as good that is actually cast in a mold than you can from a 3D printing. It's pretty rare that you can, and
even the 3D printed stuff on Etsy, we'd see it and we'd be like, oh, that's only $20. That's great. But it wasn't the actual item. It was the, what did they call it?
It's a do-it-yourself kit, which is something to be aware of. If you see a steal, a lot of these things come unpainted and unput together. So while your initial listing may look like, oh, this pair of horns and crown headband is $20, well, that's if you get it in pieces and unpainted. If you're wanting them painted and put together, you're going to look at tacking on another $30 to $40.
Exactly. So we dealt with that struggle a lot on Etsy, at least. And on Amazon, not so much. However, you still found some 3D printed stuff on Amazon. So just want you guys to be aware of 3D printing. Not that it's a bad idea. Not that it looks terrible. It will probably turn out great in pictures. I am not a fan of 3D printed items. I think I still have a beef with a company that sent me a 3D printed hero figurine for Dungeons and Dragons, and it fell apart in shipping, and I was just devastated because I had spent a good amount of money on it, and it did not stay put together. So ever since then, I've had a little bit of a trust issue with 3D printing quality.
It's just something to be aware of as you look to see how it's actually made. Is it cast or is it 3D printed? Because it may matter to you.
Right. It's really up to you guys if you go that route or not. I didn't want to go that route with this. So what I initially found were a pair of horns. They are bull horns is how they're described. And they really look like a matador's, bull horn. They have like the black at the bottom. They have the kind of horn color in the middle, and they have black tips. So my initial thought was I can use these and I will just paint them the tan color all over or modify them. Mm-hmm. And it was $11 and it was on a headband, so it could have worked. However, we were looking earlier today at the wig I chose for Bowsette, which is actually a Bowsette wig. It's the yellow colored blonde ponytail, perfectly styled already, which is great because I'm not a wig stylist. And under the recommended, which is a great place to start.
Yeah.
If you find something you love but it's not quite right, just look under the recommended and take yourself on a train and you will eventually get there. So underneath the recommended for the Bowsette wig were these foam horns, not on a headband. They are separate on alligator clips. And I thought, this is perfect because I can clip them into the wig. So and they are $18.99 versus the $11 bull horns that I would have to modify. And I don't really trust my modify prop skills. So I was like, I'm going to go with the easy option.
Yeah, and they look great. They're for a completely different character, but even looking in the reviews, people have used them for Bowsette.
Right.
And so we know that this is something that we can look at with the costume that we're trying to put together and go, okay, this is going to work. So $7 more for not any work you actually have to do.
Which I'm a sucker for valuing my time, and if it's going to take a lot of time and then not work, and I've wasted money, I'm not going to be happy about it in the end.
So it's all about ease.
Absolutely. The next thing I want to talk about that I mentioned already is the wig. So we found a wig from Lynn Fairy, I believe is the brand. It says it's blonde. However, it looks more yellow to me, which is kind of what her hair looks more like, is yellow. Mm-hmm. It's already in a ponytail. It already has a styled bang, which to me is just great because I have never had a good track record of putting a wig in a ponytail.
No.
It never turns out the way I want. So with it already styled that way, I thought that would be perfect.
Yeah, it looks great. Well, luckily, this is one of the appeals of when you pick something that's a little bit more mainstream, at least as a base character, is there's more likely to be stuff out there that is tailored toward that character. And this is definitely meant to be for Peach, whether they say it or not.
Right. They're being a little cryptic in their description, but it's very obvious.
Yeah.
The next thing that I noticed on Bowsette were her spiky collars and wrist cuffs bracelets. So like LJ said, the mainstream characters have a lot better options with their props because people have created a lot of things for them. And we actually found a choker and cuff set for $14 with 5-star reviews. So I was pretty much thinking that's perfect.
It's pretty much perfect.
So we added that. And that's not everything. We did see that Bowsette has a little blue gem kind of at the top of her corset. And we just looked for that on the off chance that we would find it. And we absolutely found something perfect.
Yeah.
$10. A little teardrop brooch. It's a blue rhinestone with a little gold detailing outside, which I thought gave it a nice touch. So we added that to our cart. And I believe that's going to, draw attention in that little attention to detail, which will be nice.
Well, it helps that, that's what Peach has always had, right? Is that little teardrop. Well, not
hers
teardrop.
Hers is red, right?
No, Peach's is blue. I'm like 90% sure Peach's is blue.
We're going to settle this debate after the podcast.
We'll see who's
who's correct. Who knows their Mario better.
Yeah.
All right. And then I'll let you flow in with the crowns we found because we're using these crowns for both characters.
Right. So, like I said, I mentioned earlier that all these characters, which actually expand beyond Bowsette and Boosette, there's Chompette, Bulletette, like there's
Bulletette.
Oh, Bullet, maybe.
Bullet.
That's how they do it. Sorry. But there's so many. They're so cute. But they all use the super crown from the video game to make them what they are, which is like this little mushroom inside of a Peach's crown. So they actually have one of these out in Amazon for $30, which honestly is one of probably the most expensive item that we have. I'm going to scroll through here and check. Besides the boots, which
yes, I didn't mention.
You did mention the boots. That's okay.
But we kind of got the same boot.
We got the same boot. So it's $30, but it is a nice cast plastic, so you're not going to have that 3D kind of gradation that we're talking about, and it's well made. So if you're going to use it, and it's a cute little item, you can always put it on your shelf afterwards if you're not going to use it again.
Yeah, hey, if you're sick of being in costume, just toss a plain t-shirt on and a super crown, and there you go.
Done. I'm LJette.
Yes, exactly.
But, so we're both going to be using that, which was an easy find for us. We're both going to be using very similar boots. So, whereas Bowsette's look is a little bit more like Queen of the Castle, because that's Bowser, Boosette has more of like a little, kind of a Victorian ghost look to her, which I think is super cute and very fitting considering she's supposed to be a little ghosty, and you always think of little Victorian girls.
She's haunting the old Victorian house.
Yeah, she's haunting the place. So I happen to already have a white, flowy sort of, and it's pegged as a gypsy, Renaissance, medieval, they throw everything in there. Basically old.
You see what they're doing on Amazon. They're giving you a million adjectives to search these dresses with.
If you're ever looking for something that's actually accurate, like if you want something that's Victorian, you need to actually kind of do your research on what constitutes Victorian, because they'll toss that on anything from Edwardian to Rococo to medieval. It doesn't matter. If it looks old, oh man, Rococo's coming back. I'm telling you. Just wait. I'm telling you. So I have this, and it's long. It's kind of got these long sleeves on it. So again, this is not totally accurate to the way that you look at Boosette. Boosette has these kind of poofy sleeves and no long sleeves, but this kind of has like these trailing sort of pieces on the sleeves, which I think kind of give it a more of a ghosty effect while still looking old and Victorian. And you can wear it. It's shown as being off the shoulder, but you can pull it up to be on the shoulder, and you've got the silhouette that you're looking for. With her as well, she has gloves, which I struggle with gloves.
Gloves are hard.
I struggle with gloves really hard. For one of the LARPs that I did, I think I probably ordered a good 10 different pair of gloves before I decided which ones I wanted, got to the ball that I was supposed to wear them in, and did not wear them because I didn't like them. That is how picky I am about gloves.
So we're probably going to send these back, reorder about 10 more pairs, and we'll let you guys know which ones we decided on.
I'll figure it out. But what I was going to touch on that is the dress that I chose is a linen dress. It's thin, so it's not a shiny material. So one of the things that you kind of want to look for is, even if you can't get the same sort of fabric, because you're not going to get linen gloves. Even though in 2D everything looks the same, you just can't accomplish that in real life. So because the dress is not shiny, you can look for matte, M-A-T-T, gloves. And so that way you at least don't get a shine in pictures. It'll look a lot closer if you don't have any shine on your outfit. So that's at least what I got. We'll see how happy I am with it at the end of the day.
They're 4-way stretch.
4-way stretch.
What's that mean?
I believe that means that they will stretch all around. Like as in, like, they're not just stretchy in the fingers, they'll also stretch around. Yeah. I don't know why.
I always have an issue with gloves like that where my fingers are short, I feel like. Yeah. So the glove always hangs off and looks weird.
It's such a pain. And you know what? Actually, I have found a trick to that. If you order young men's gloves or young women's gloves, like children's gloves, if you have smaller hands, it works a lot better. They might be a little bit tighter and may become a little bit shorter than you would expect, but they're not going to be hanging off, and ultimately they look a lot better. When I was taking fencing classes, I actually ordered men's lacrosse gloves. Young adult boys lacrosse gloves, and they were the exact fit that I needed.
Hey.
So if you have a problem finding gloves in your size, look at young men's gloves.
Cosplay hack.
Yeah, cosplay hack, young men's gloves. Especially band gloves. That's a popular one.
Yes, band gloves.
Yep. So one of the other things that Bowsette, so the wig was a lot harder to find for me. And I am also very particular about my wigs. They don't really have anything that looks exactly like Bowsette, and nothing that's like a super high quality that I would like enough. So I did find something that is, it's posted as a Vocaloid wig. I'm not really sure what Vocaloid character this is, and I know a little bit about Vocaloid, so we'll see. But it's a long white wig. It looks like it's vaguely styled in the bangs, and maybe I can mess with a little bit, but again, we're not wig stylists. So I'll get it in. I'll see what I can do with it, but at the end of the day, it's still a white wig. It's still got bangs.
Right.
Everybody is going to know what you're going for, and sometimes I'm just particular. Wigs can make or break a cosplay for me sometimes.
You have to be wary with wigs as well, because there's different kinds of wigs. If you guys don't know, there are lace front wigs, and lace fronts are really great for wigs that don't have bangs. Because wigs that have bangs, I'm not super particular that it's a lace front, because your bang is going to cover up the front of it anyway.
And I think 90% of the time, there's no point in making a lace front with bangs, unless it's human hair and you're going to be wearing it for any kind of styling.
Unless you're super particular. So a lot of the wigs on Amazon have bangs in them, and it is not a big deal if they're the lace front or they're lace, done. They're going to look pretty okay, and you should be able to pop some bobby pins in it to maybe pull the hair back in certain areas to make it look better.
So most people are not going to care on a character if you've got what almost looks like side bangs that are pulled to the side. A lot of people do that because honestly the difference between a normal wig and a lace front wig is pretty significant. You're going to tack on usually anywhere from $20 to $30 just for it to be a lace front.
Right.
So, but if your character is known for not having any kind of bangs, like Persephone doesn't have bangs. In any of her pictures, she pretty much doesn't have it. I think the closest she's gotten is in the most recent ones, and they're still kind of off to the side. So I was like, it's got to be lace front. So that was I think that's the only lace front I own. It's for her. But I
own a couple lace front wigs. I really enjoy them.
They look cool. I will say that I am definitely a proponent of lace front tape as opposed to lace front glue. Oh my gosh, my wig did not move the entire day.
That's a good point, because on my lace fronts, I actually use Got To Be gel.
Gel.
It's a gel. It's Got To Be glued gel. It's in a black and yellow container. And that stuff is intense. I just put it on my forehead and I lay the lace down on top of the gel, and you like fan it and hold the wig on and it won't move. It stays stuck, and it's a gel, which that's what I've found works for me, and I like that. Another great wig hack is if you have a wig without bangs that's not lace front and it looks kind of rough at the bang area, toss a beanie on it. Just put a hat on, and it'll look great.
Just like in real life.
Right.
My hair's messed up. I'm wearing a hat today.
Exactly.
Oh, man. So, again, we have a wig that'll work if you need it to. It's also only $15. So, I mean, especially if I can dress it up a little, $15 for a wig, I'm okay with it. Right. Yeah. So,
and if there's like maybe a point where you can kind of see down to natural hair, we have a crown accessory that you could pop on top of that and kind of work around it.
Definitely. So she's got a couple more accessories. Instead of a brooch, Boosette has like a little, and you see it represented in a different couple ways in whatever fan art you're looking at. So again, it doesn't matter. So I picked this nice little pretty white lace choker with a little pendant, round pendant. And the pendant itself is white. And in a lot of the art, you'll see it colored red. A Sharpie will take care of that.
There you go.
You can paint it with some acrylic if you do. So the thing about it is you can touch up a lot of these things with acrylic paint, just plain acrylic paint. The only thing I would say is you can leave it like that if you're wanting it for a one night kind of deal. But you can add a, there's a gloss, I can't think of it. There's basically a gloss spray. It's like a setting spray, but it kind of like finishes it and it keeps the paint there. It keeps it from like flecking off and stuff like that. But I've repainted a great deal of many things with just some acrylic paint, from 3D printed horns to we made Vince a Bojack mask out of a horse mask from Bojack Horseman one time. We're doing that. And so you can touch things up with just a little bit of paint, and you don't have to be so particular and spend 10 hours trying to find exactly what you're looking for. I also am going to be doing body paint. Speaking of paint for this one. So you wouldn't necessarily have to do this with her. Like with anything, you don't have to do body paint, I don't think. You can always get a character across without having to go full on dipping yourself in a bucket of paint, but...
Just take yourself and like dunk yourself. What is that where they dunk the cups and it becomes the detail?
Like the latte thing? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no, not latte thing. You like dip any kind of like material into like water with a pattern on it and it comes out.
Like tie-dye? I have no idea what you're... marbling or whatever that stuff is called.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
That stuff is so neat. I wish I could do that with body paint. It'd be so much simpler.
That would be. It would be. But this is just the Mehron makeup liquid paint. I have several of the Mehron liquid paints. Your mileage may vary. Some people prefer Snazaroo. That's another one.
Oh, I have a Snazaroo little purple paint that I use to paint on the nose of Mermaid Man.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I got it for.
Gotcha. Okay, now see, I get the liquid because I am a little bit particular, and I guess you'll hear me say that a lot. I'm not particular and I'm particular all at the same time.
Guys, LJ's particular.
I'm a little particular. I'm particularly particular.
Yes.
But when you get the liquid, you can mix it. So
what do you mix it with?
No, you can mix it with other paints. So like with Persephone's skin color, the base skin color that you're going to get is going to be a very bright pink, and for some people they prefer to do the lighter shade of pink, like Persephone's, like I do. Right, so you can mix the white with the pink, and now you've got a pale pink.
Right, because I must mention with that Snazaroo, it's almost like a solid flat, and what I did with it is I had to take a little water, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't even know if this was the correct way to do this, but I took a little water and a Q-tip and basically drew a star on my nose. And it worked, although I'm sure this is probably a better method.
But so that's why I picked the liquid. One of the other things to remember is that if you're messing around with body paint, I definitely suggest getting the setting powder when you do it. It will help you stay a little bit longer. And the good thing with Boosette is I really only have to do... I probably will get something like just a white something on my arms, but it's just the face and the chest.
Now, how are you going to apply that?
I pretty much apply it with... You can do it with a brush. You can use it with a makeup sponge. You can literally just paint it on yourself with your hands. Like, there's not really a ton of different ways. I like to do a combination of the paints, and then I follow it up with a setting powder, and then I follow it up with actual... You're not going to be able to do heavy makeup, but blushes or like other sorts of powders are really good because when you do the flat color, it can look really fake. So you want to kind of dress it up. And especially with Boosette, she will be fun because she's got the blush.
Like the detailing.
Yeah, she's got the detailing. She's got the blush. And she also has red eyes, which, let me tell you, I'm excited for chances to wear my red contacts, which I got from... Oh, who did I get that from? Pinky Paradise. Pinky Paradise is a contact company that you can find online. They have a lot of different kind of contacts. I got red eyes from them. I've got some very cartoony pink eyes from them that I use for Persephone.
Super cute.
They're very cute. Blue ones, all sorts of stuff. But for good old Bowsette, she's got the spooky little red eyes. So that's going to be really cute. And I plan on doing, some red blushy makeup to give her that nice blush. So, and then the boots, we've got some Victorian looking like little white mid-calf boots. And those are a little bit pricier. Those are in about the $60 range. But
I have been wanting a pair of these black Victorian boots for Ren Fair. So I figured this was a perfect opportunity for me to buy them finally.
But again, if you are on a stricter budget, especially with Bowsette, she has a long white dress. Nobody is really going to be seeing what shoes you're wearing.
Wear whatever shoe you want.
Wear some blue Converse. Nobody cares. It'll be fine.
Blue Converse sounds like a great addition to Bowsette. I think that'd be cute. Somebody go put blue Converse with your Bowsette cosplay.
Oh, that would be so cute.
And send us a picture.
Yeah, we would love that. And in fact, we would honestly love to hear from you guys at this point, because we have reached the end of our 3 episodes, of which we wanted to do the stuff that we wanted to talk about. So I think we're going to take a few minutes and talk to you guys about the form that we have set up just for that purpose.
Yeah, go check out our form.
It is going to be listed in the show notes, so check it out. There are several things in there that you guys can look at. Not everything is required, but it basically asks you, what do you want to cosplay? What makes you excited to play this cosplay? What are your, the main points you want to bring out? Do you want to be comfortable? Does you want it to be more affordable? We get to rank your interests.
And the more information you give us on the form, the more we can, tailor your experience or the things you're looking for. So if you're going for comfort, we're not going to pick heels for you. We're not going to pick a corset for you if you don't want to be in a corset. Mm-hmm. Those kinds of things. And you can tell us that in the forum. You can tell us things like, hey, I'd really like to see you guys just do this thing, even if it's not for yourself. If you're just interested to see if we could maybe pull it off or how we would do it. Or if it's something you want to take to con and you have a strict time deadline. You say, I have 2 days. I need to be able to purchase every single thing now on Amazon Prime. Tell us that. If you have a very strict budget, make sure to include that in the form so that we know, okay, we have to keep this budget friendly. And we can give you guys streams for that. You might even be featured on an episode of the podcast. We may write blog posts.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff planned. We're depending on what you guys give us and what we can do with it, we would really love to do all that sort of stuff. We would like to give some more information about Mid-South Con here pretty soon. It's not going to be included with the podcast at the moment, but we might have some good or better news regardless. We are going to have a lot of content for you guys going forward.
Absolutely. We look forward to hopefully seeing pictures of you guys doing the cosplays we set up. We would love to have any pictures of the cosplays that you've done and the details you've put in and what you love about them. And we would love to just see what the community can give us, how the community can grow.
We're greedy.
Yeah.
Give us things, let us give to you.
Yes, give us pictures, give us fun galleries, and we will give you pictures and fun galleries and include you in our pictures and fun galleries.
It's just fun and gallerific for everybody.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think that is going to be it for us for now.
For now.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.